Hello everyone, this is Pooka, and welcome to another game I played on a Pokemon trading card game online. Every once in a while I like to throw it together, just a random deck, with a lot of stupid things that probably shouldn't work, just to see what happens. And this is the result of one of those games. So, we're going to start off here with a couple of Minuns. Don't see this card too often, but this is going to be a Dusknoir, pretty much just a spread deck. And then you use Dusknoir's Sinister Hand ability to just kind of rearrange the damage on your opponent's field to knock out big things, and then, well, I didn't actually figure out how you're supposed to win with this deck. It was just kind of cool. So we'll see how that turns out. So my opponent just starts with an Emolga. The thing about Minun, it would be nice, you know, if I could spread a bunch of damage on, like, the first turn, if he had, like, 6 Pokemon on board. But if they keep their bench small, then Minun doesn't really do anything. So I just attach to Registeel instead. I use Triple Laser to spread damage. Seems like a pretty efficient attack. Just spreading 30 all around. It's actually probably not that good of an attack when you can actually move the damage wherever you want to. You might be better off just doing 90 to an active Pokemon. But I was all about spreading when I built this deck, so Registeel was fresh on my mind. So was Minun, and we'll see what happens. So I draw a Rocky Helmet, which is part of my putting damage on the opponent's field strategy. I do get a turn 2 Triple Laser here with a Switch, Double Colorless. I'll have all sorts of stuff out here. And we'll see what happens. I'm just going to Triple Laser, not going to waste my catcher. No point in that. Then just do 30 and 30 to Emolga and Stunfisk, and I cannot actually hit the Sigilyph because of the Safeguard ability. So that's going to be pretty annoying. Now this could pose several problems if he actually does not bench another Pokemon. One of my faults when planning this deck out was that I did not have a way to deal with Sigilyph, so I really don't have anything that can actually attack it. I have Minun, which can do 10. I have Plusle. I play one of those just because why not? I'm playing Minun. That can do 30. And I have Rocky Helmet. That's probably my biggest offense against the Sigilyph, which is Rocky Helmet. But he plays an Enhanced Hammer. That's going to discard my Double Colorless. That's pretty annoying. This deck plays nothing but Special Energy, by the way. So that's another really bad thing about my deck. I play 11 Special Energy and nothing else. So as you can see, I have Prism, Blend, and Double Colorless in this deck. Nothing else. Now I'm going to just attach again to the Registeel. Nothing I can really do. My opponent does not have any supporters, but it's alright. I'm just going to play Skyla, and I think I'm just going to search for an N at this point, because I don't want a Juniper to discard all of those cards, especially the 2 energy. That's going to be a big deal, and a Switch and all that stuff. So I'm actually going to grab the N, I think, because that's not stuff I want to discard right now. You never know when you're going to need all that stuff. It's always scary to discard that many things, especially when I saw he plays Enhanced Hammer. I can actually run out of energy because I don't have any way to get them back because they're all Special Energy. So I need to be careful with my energy attachments this game as well. Now, my opponent, I don't know. He's got Stunfisk. I could be hitting a weird turn next turn where, like, okay, he hits me with Stunfisk again. And he did put the Double Colorless onto Sigilyph, so that's going to be a threat at some point. But if he hits me with Muddy Water for 20, and then I Triple Laser, I'm going to have to knock out the Stunfisk. Which, you know, my only way to knock out Sigilyph in this game, as I've gone over before, is to get out Dusknoir, honestly. I need to get damage onto other Pokemon, and then just move it all to Sigilyph to knock that out. That's really my strategy right now. I can't really deal with it any other way, but my awkward situation of having to knock out Stunfisk is gone, because he's going to Tool Scrapper away my Rocky Helmet. So that's good and bad for me, depending on what happens. Now, I can just keep using Triple Laser every turn, that's an option. But, you know, I don't have much else. I have Regigigas, that's about it. Fortunately, my opponent doesn't have much either. So, This is just kind of a weird game. Still, I don't expect to win because I don't actually know how to win with this deck. But we'll kind of figure that out along the way, I suppose. So I draw a computer search off of my top card. But I can't actually think of anything that A, I want to discard, and B, I want to get. I could maybe get a Dusknoir with that, but that's whatever. And then I redraw the computer search. I get a rare candy and a Dusclops. You know, I don't feel like Registeel is going to get knocked out anytime soon, and I want to get Dusknoir into play as quickly as possible, so I kind of want to play that computer search to get a Duskull. If I do that, and then I top deck I play Heavy Ball, I play Ultra Ball, play plenty of Dusknoirs. If I top deck a Dusknoir, I can take the Sigilyph out of play. And, you know, this just seems like priority number one. Get the Sigilyph out of play. So I need to take a risk, go for the Duskull, and maybe this will force him to bench more Pokemon. So that could end up working in my favor if I don't get the Dusknoir out, because then I could just start attacking other things anyway. But I need to get that Dusknoir threat out there to scare him into doing something. That's kind of where I am right now. So now, I really don't have anything in my hand. That's the that's a bad part of this. I have nothing in hand. I have Rare Candy, which can help if I get a Dusknoir. I have Switch, Super Rod. Those cards are not going to help me. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We got a long game ahead of us, that's for sure. I am probably not going to win anytime soon. I got a Registeel up there. He's probably not getting knocked out anytime soon. So yeah, this is just going to be weird no matter what happens. My opponent is taking a fairly long turn. I think he's probably recognized the complexity of the situation. That, you know, if I get Dusknoir out, he could be in a ton of trouble. Not only will I be able to knock out Sigilyph, but I'll have, like, a lot of damage on his field still. So any new Pokemon he would put down can be targeted immediately with the Sinister Hand to just, you know, move a bunch of energy, or move a bunch of damage to that new Pokemon. And then I can then knock that out. So he's going to Ultra Ball for a Terrakion and just kind of say whatever. Puts fighting on it. He discarded a Psychic and a Prism, so that was kind of strange. I would expect him to attack with the Sigilyph at some point, but he's going to get First Blood here, take out my Minun, and yeah, I draw a Rocky Helmet. It's not the most useful card in the world, but I'll take it. Now, I have a weird decision here. His Stunfisk is at 80 damage, as you can see there. Now, I don't want to knock out the active, because then he can just retaliate me, and that won't be any fun. So I'm actually just going to try to leave Stunfisk active, force him to have a switch in order to retaliate me, and we'll go from there. If he doesn't have a switch, and he has to attack into me, then he gets knocked out by the Rocky Helmet, he doesn't get to retaliate. It's all going to work out. So it's all going to depend on what my opponent has here, what he decides to do. If he attacks into the Rocky Helmet, he does not get to use Retaliate next turn, which is the biggest deal here. So this is just turning into one weird game. I get a Prism off of my prizes. Still hoping to get a Dusknoir at some point. And oh, there's a Mewtwo, so we could be seeing some X-Ball action. I don't really mind the Mewtwo that much. I do play one of my own just as like a hitter at some point, something that can do direct damage. I added that into the deck, so we'll see what happens. There's a Juniper for 7, discards a Charon. Now a Switch and an X-Ball could actually be pretty devastating, because as you can see I have nothing else on my field. That's going to be the biggest problem here. I have no attackers past this Registeel. Just triple lasering. I can attach a 4th energy to use Protect Charge, but that's probably not my best option. And if my opponent doesn't have a switch, which he does not, I will just keep hitting for 30 on the bench. So I have a weird decision here. I could bench Plusle, switch, and then tag draw for 8 cards. That is an option, believe it or not. But I feel like, okay, my opponent's kind of stranded up there. I might as well just take this time to go ahead and triple laser. The Stunfisk has a 3 retreat cost, so I don't want to hit that. I realize I'm just doing 0 with the Sigilyph, but it's better than knocking out the active, as weird as that sounds. I want to keep the damage on his field, so that at some point I can get a big play with Dusknoir, Sinister Hand, and then move all of the damage to, knock out Pokemon, and then maybe use a Mewtwo to knock out his Mewtwo, and win the game that way. So this is going to be a complicated game where all sorts of stuff can happen. We'll see, I don't know. There's still plenty of stuff that can happen. I still don't even have a Dusknoir in play. But there's a switch from my opponent, so that is pretty annoying. And it looks like he's going to Land Crush. Yep, that'll do 90. It'll take 24 the Rocky Helmet. So there's that. Now I have a Level Ball here. I have two options. I can Super Rod my Dusclops into my deck and then get that out here. Or I can just grab another Duskull in case one gets catchered and knocked out. And I think it's probably the right can't talk. The right option to get two Duskulls out here. And I'm going to bench Plusle because I expect to be knocked out. I don't want to Protect Charge. I really don't. I would rather just put more damage on his field and set up for this one big turn where I can get a big knockout. So I have to decide, do I want to knock out Stunfisk? And you know what? No, I don't. I want to keep the damage out there and see what happens. So I'm probably just going to hit Sigilyph for 0 once again. Again, I need to just keep damage on his field. I'm not too concerned with knocking out things at this point. I'm concerned with getting damage out there so that at some point I can move all the damage and knock out the correct things and win the game that way. But we still have a long road ahead of us. Registeel's certainly going down this turn. But if he actually attacks the active with Terrakion, he gets knocked out by the Rocky Helmet. So he gets to lose the 3 energy that way. I also didn't want to Protect Charge with Registeel because then I just get X-Balled and I lose a 4th energy. Like I said before, he plays Enhanced Hammer. I'm low on energy in this deck. I cannot Super Rod any back in. I had to discard a couple early. So I need to be extremely careful with my energy at this point. I did bench Plusle knowing that I could have to use Tag Draw next turn to draw 8. It's not the end of the world. I'll have to sacrifice that prize in exchange for, a turn of getting a new hand, which is not the greatest thing, but it's better than just passing. So he's gonna Catcher out poor Plusle. If he has a plus power here, I actually think I just lose. But he catches out the Plusle, just does 40 and then 20 to the Registeel. Avoids the Rocky Helmet, which is pretty clever, and also sets up the Plusle knockout for next turn. So I'm hoping to draw a Dusknoir here. Nope, I draw a Flygon. Flygon was another one of my random additions to the deck. I think there's only a 1-1 line in this deck. A 1-0-1 Flygon line. So this deck is literally just whatever Pokemon I felt like could spread damage thrown into one deck. And here we are. So I'm going to Tag Draw here for 8 cards. You shuffle in and draw 4, plus 4 if Minun is on your bench. So it's not the greatest attack in the world, because you need the Minun out there. If you just shuffle in and draw 8, I think it would be playable, but the fact that you need the Minun is not good. I'm just taking a look at Electro Shower on Minun, because I need to know if I can do damage to the Stunfisk, because it has resistance to lightning. It looks like I can't. That's a bummer. My opponent puts down a second Mewtwo, so I could end up actually winning this game, believe it or not. If I keep enough damage, there's an end though. That's probably gonna be the end for me. That's a bummer. With those 8 cards, I had a lot of options, but with 5, not so much. I do have a Bianca though, so I'm not gonna give up hope completely. We'll put up Minun, expecting to use Electro Shower this turn, and I get a Blend, so I will be able to use that this turn. I could either Negative Ion to buy time, or just Electro Shower. But I think I'm just going to go all in here. I'm going to Catcher up something, Electro Shower after I Bianca, and cross my fingers, hope for the best. The question is, what do I Catcher up? If I Catcher up Terrakion, I Electro Shower. I want to be able to do damage to everything, just spread as much as possible. So I don't want to bring up Stunfisk, I don't think. And And I also think I'm going to need to win by bringing up a Mewtwo, because I'm going to need to X-Ball for the win at some point. I also don't play many catchers in this deck, so this has to be worthwhile. So I want to catcher up a Mewtwo to kind of bait him, to keep it up there and attack my Minun for the knockout. So I think that's my best bet here. Catcher up a Mewtwo, Electro Shower, and then next turn try to get a massive 5-prize turn where I get Dusknoir into play and then X-Ball his Mewtwo for the win. It's a very far-fetched strategy at this point, but that's all I got working for me. I do not draw a good hand there. I also draw my remaining 2 double colorless energy, so I really need to top deck Mewtwo to have a shot next turn, or an Ultra Ball. Otherwise, I'm going to have to discard those 2 double colorless, and then that's going to be the end of the game pretty much, because I cannot use X-Ball, because I don't have any double colorless left. So it's really just all going to come down to this top deck. I need to draw a Mewtwo, and then I need to draw a Dusknoir off of my Juniper, so looking pretty unlikely, but hey! Ultra Ball! Haha! Now I have to actually do math. Do I actually have enough damage out there to win this game? We're going to Ultra Ball. I know Mewtwo's in there, I checked for it before. So there is the Mewtwo. I'm just checking to see how many Dusknoirs are in there. Looks like 2. I got a couple ways to find it still. So it's all going to come down to this. I have the perfect hand, actually. I'm going to switch to Mewtwo, Juniper, and I need... There's the Heavy Ball. That can give me a Dusknoir. Oh boy, guys. Alright, here we go. We got Dusknoir out here. Now we can start to use Sinister Hand. So I need to use my damage swapping wisely. I almost put one on Terrakion, but that's not a good idea. I would lose 120 damage off of his field. The best thing to do would have been to knock out Sigilyph because it has the least amount of hit points, but in the interest of time, I just went ahead and knocked out the Stunfisk. I lost 10 damage off his board that way, but I still have enough out there to Sinister Hand, move all the damage. I knocked out the Stunfisk already. This is annoying to do, but you have to click every time. But I get the Sinister Hand. I have enough damage still on board to move it over to a Mewtwo. And this is about to happen. I was down 5-1. One turn to really win the game. And I got the Mewtwo double colorless, switch, Dusknoir. And I get 2 prizes here. And X-Ball? Really? This was a 5-prize turn. I just knocked out 2 Mewtwo's and a Stunfisk in one turn thanks to Dusknoir. And somehow this crazy ragtag mix of weird Pokemon has worked. So I don't know what to say about this, guys, but I was excited when I won this game. I was laughing pretty hard, and that's all there is to it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I inspired you to make some creative decks. But I'll try to come up with some more decks soon, make some more videos, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Thanks for watching.